Hello and welcome to another episode of Top Deck, the series where we take a look at some of the leading TCG deck lists. So this time we have Cam's list, which took first place at the Manaflux WCQ, and he was playing Dino Thunder. I think it was kind of a deck that was completely overlooked at YCS London. It really didn't make it very high in the standings, so it's great to see that this list has shone out at a regional event. So as per usual, we're going to run through the list, then we'll go over the siding strategy and the rounds, and then we'll get some questions through to Cam and get his responses. So, triple Oviraptor, one Giant Rex, one Miscellaneousaurus, double Coatless, and double Ultimate Conductor, generally enough here. Triple Dragon Dark, one Dragon Hawk, and triple Roar. I think you cut down the number of Hawks for this list compared to the typical Thunder Dragon lists, because you don't tend to worry about special summoning from those zones anymore. Triple Armageddonite lets you sort out your coatless plays. One Destrudo. Triple Ash Blossom is the only hand trap in the main. Triple Allure. Double Call By. Triple Double Evolution Pill. Triple Fossil Dig. Triple Gold Suck. Only one Thunder Dragon Fusion. You can make big plays without this, so you don't have to worry too much. One Foolish Burial, one Monster Reborn, and of course one copy of Soul Charge. For the extra deck, double Colossus and a single Titan. There's not an awful lot of space in here, but you don't really need the rest anyway because you're not going into your big Titans so much. One Black Rose, one Dragster, one Gustav Max, Lagia, Dolka, Abyss Dweller will help you win a lot of matchups, to be honest. One Tornado, one Exton, one Weewitch, one Underclock, one Cerberus, and one Lanthorincus. I think it's pretty interesting he's gone for Cerberus rather than Phoenix here, but there is other removal available too. So for the side, one Imperial Order, triple Pancratops, triple D-Barrier, triple Twisters, triple Reboot, so a lot of options for taking out back row, and then two Kaiju, so one Dogoran, which is searchable of course, and one Gamma Seal. So that is it for the deck itself. Let's take a look at the siding strategy then. So he's put the Danger Darkworld FTK as the first thing. When going first, just putting in the Imperial Order, you can stun them out of all of their draw cards and taking out the Thunder Dragon Fusion. So not really needing to go into your Titan here. For going second, he says he would have sided draws, but he sold them a few days before the FTK was the thing. Rip him. And out, siding out for going second, he just hopes he doesn't get FTK, that's pretty much it. And then against Thunder Dragons, going first, he's putting in a triple D-Barrier and the Imperial Order again, taking out the Ash and the Call by the Graves and the Thunder Dragon Fusion. Going second, putting in two Kaiju and taking out Soul Charge and one Call by the Grave. For Sky Striker, putting in sort of the back row hate with the Twisters here, and then Imperial Order shut them out of the game entirely. Taking out the Ash Blossom and the Fusion there, pretty standard. Then going second, still Twisters going in, taking out the Call by the Grave since they're going to have fewer hand traps. And dropping the Soul Charge as well, actually going second. Just want to OTK them, I imagine. If it becomes a grind game, you're going to really struggle. Versus Autogeist or Paleo, that kind of deck, putting in the reboots and only two of the Twisters. Because he only have 5 cards he could take out, so 3 Ash, 1 Roar, and 1 Thunder Dragon Fusion. Going second, it's pretty much the same going in, but coming out, he's taking out 1 Soul Charge instead of the Roar there. Then for sort of link spam decks, putting in the Imperial Order and taking out a Thunder Dragon Fusion when going first, and going second, you just need a way to get rid of their biggest stuff, so 2 Kaiju going in, 2 Call by the Grave going out. So he's actually given us some notes on each of these matchups. So for the Danger Darkworld FTK, he said, honestly, not prepared at all for this matchup, an inherently RNG based deck. So he figured he'd just ride his luck as he'd sold his draws before about a week before the FTK became a thing. For Thunder Dragons, he really wasn't scared of the deck at all. Dino Thunder gives you the edge where playing against Pure, they can't deal with Tyranno at all. The deck choices reflected that with 3 Evo Pills and 2 Tyrannos. He wanted to open these as Colossus is a really big problem for the opponent. Versus Sky Striker, he says this is the matchup he knew the most as it's all that his locals is made up of. The deck is made to beat Sky Strikers, and if he opens what he wants to, then they basically need to open 2 of Widow Anchor or Mind Control in order to out you. Against Autogeist and Paleo, he didn't really, he said he didn't play against Autogeist and only Paleo, but very similar siding. He thinks you stop the traps and clear the back row, Ash is suboptimal, as first turn they'll either be able to make Toad, in which case Ash is dead, or they can't, and when it's complete, and then it's a complete win more. And versus Altergeist also, they'll have Protocols, which deals with that. For Link Shenanigan decks, he says, again, he would have sided more hand traps if he had them, but he just didn't think it would be as popular as FTK, Skystriker, or Thunder Dragons, and he turned out to be right. Anyone playing this sort of pseudo-FTK is now playing an actual FTK anyway. So that is it for the siding strategy for the rounds. Round 1, he went up against Dark Magician, Swift 2-0 there. Round 2 against Sky Striker, again, he's well rehearsed in this, so 2-0. Round 3 against Danger Dark World FDK, he went 2-1. Round 4 against Thunder Dragon, he went 2-1. Round 5 against Trickstar Sky Striker, he went 2-1. Round 6, another Danger Dark World FTK, another 2-1 here. And finally against the Paleo matchup that he mentioned, and he went 2-0. So, for the general questions that I asked of Cam, how was the event is the typical question we go with. He said it was really good, it was really well run and everything went smoothly. Manaflux Gaming was the venue, they were really well organised, they even got a lunch break, and he thinks this is a great idea with the new time rules saving time overall. The prominence of a ridiculously consistent FTK really put him off actually attending, but obviously he was glad that he did in the end. Then why did he decide to play Dino Thunder? Well, he's been playing dinosaurs since their release, and by far his favourite variant was the True Kings version. The Thunder Dragons complement the deck in the same way that the True Kings did, in that they support the dinosaur engine and overall bring about a lot of consistency. He thought that Sky Striker would have been the most popular deck, and this is a pretty decent matchup against it, despite losing almost every game in testing. The dinosaur side to the deck gives you a massive advantage against the Thunder Dragons themselves. Colossus is a mammoth of a card and lets you control until you just kill your opponent. Let's be honest, the Thunder Dragons artwork is really cool, and so when he saw that you can play dinosaurs with them, he just had to. Now obviously we haven't seen this kind of deck on the channel before because it is pretty new, so I wanted him to run through the basic turn 1 and turn 2 plays. He says the ideal first turn end board is generally Colossus and Tyranno, or Colossus and Overtex. He says Tyranno or Overtex because it's definitely matchup dependent what you make. Against Sky Striker or a spell or trap heavy deck, then Overtex is better, but against a combo deck, Tyranno is better. You can make this in a variety of ways, but you need a normal summon and a means to banish a Thunder Dragon, which can be Gold Sark, Allure, Pill. There are a whole bunch of different ways of doing that. An example would be Armageddon Knight and Thunder Dragon Roar. You normal summon Armageddon Knight, send Overtex to the grave, Overtex searches Pill, Pill uses, then use Pill using Dragon Roar and Overtex in the grave for a big dinosaur of your choice. Roar effect when banished summons the Dark, and then you link away the Dark and Armageddon Knight for a Wee Witch. Then Dragon Dark effect to add the Dragon Hawk to your hand, and then Dragon Hawk to summon back the Dragon Roar, and then you can go from that into Colossus. So the end board is obviously a Wee Witch's Apprentice, a Coatless or the other dragon of other dinosaur of your choice, and a Thunder Dragon Colossus, which is pretty hard for a lot of decks to beat. Any extenders such as Monster Reborn help you a lot, as you can Monster Reborn the Armageddon Knight to dump the Destrudo, and then summon that from the grave and make a Dawn Dragster as well. Going second, it obviously depends much more on the scenario. But there's an inherent ability for dinosaurs to OTK. It's kind of the same combos really, but you're definitely prioritizing Tyranno over Overtex in these scenarios since you can attack multiple times. You want to get Giant Rex into the equation here. Using its effect to summon itself after being banished allows you to utilize the flexibility of the rank 4 toolbox, especially the Evolzars for saying no to things. Big field wipes like Exton and Black Rose can help out here too. Then, for the hand traps, I wanted to know if 3 Ash is enough, given the prominence of sort of this FTK deck within the format. He says yes and no. As this is a going first deck, you want to set up your Colossus and Overtex and allow that to lock down your opponent, and so you want to see your combo pieces in order to achieve your end goal. But in a format where an FTK is the best deck, ideally you want more hand traps. So his problem with space, he wanted to be more consistent. Against Sky Striker, he'd rather have Colossus to lock the opponents than a single Ash, as they can still resolve engage about 4 times. The reason he didn't decide any more hand traps for when he plays against FTK is the fact that they just make Azathoth anyway and turn everything off. If he did and stopped them, then he doesn't have any cards that he needs to kill them that turn, so what was the point? Droll obviously cripples the deck, but he sold his playset in order to fund the Colossuses a few days before the FTK gained recognition at Niagara, and his friend lent them out to someone else, so honestly he thought he'd just ride his luck, and it paid off. In terms of the extra deck, why the Cerberus and not the Nightmare Phoenix? The honest answer is that he gave away his copy of Phoenix away on the Thursday night and completely forgot to get another one until he wrote his deck list on the morning of the event. But he actually found it to be irrelevant. If you've ever got materials that he's willing to go into Phoenix, then they'll generally both be level 4s, so he can just make Tornado Dragon, which pops 2 instead of 1. He actually never made Cerberus, as anything that can be destroyed by it, Tyranno flips face down anyway, and you can just attack. He would cut it and play a Unicorn instead. As for nothing higher than the Link 2 monsters, he really regrets this. He thinks he should have played the Unicorn to allow him to climb from the Wee Witch into bigger monsters. As for Borreload and Borrelsword, he thinks Borreload would have been more important since he can already OTK. But the main reason for the lack of Link 4s is that he rarely assembles 4 materials in order to go into them. Hardest and easiest matchups, we ask this every time, so hardest matchup is the Danger Dark World FTK. It's an FTK which turns off your hand traps. Draw or lose.deck is basically the deck's worst matchup. Altergeist is a pretty hard matchup since they can keep on bouncing your Tyranno, and if you don't have fodder in the grave to resummon it, it can get really horrible and grindy. So that's something that he wanted to stay away from. Also, anything that makes Borreload wins pretty easily. He can't stress that enough. You usually just have to crash your Tyranno, which honestly isn't ideal. Winning the dice roll against Sky Strikers makes it really easy though. If you can establish Overtext and Colossus, then they have to draw 2 cards to out Colossus before they can even begin playing. The chances of them seeing 2 Widow Anchor or Afterburners is really unlikely. Thunder Dragons are pretty straightforward to play. If you open the ability to make Tyranno, then it's usually game. And as when your opponent uses their Thunder Dragon effect in hand to try and trigger Titan's Pop, you can just chain your Tyranno and interrupt them. As for changes, he felt like the deck was really solid as it is. It's pretty consistent. The only change that he would make to the main is to drop a Thunder Dragon Fusion and main the Imperial Order. Order is absolutely busted, and if you can establish Tyranno, Colossus, and flip Order, then you've won. It won him 3 games. It won him, what was it, 3 game 3s, 2 of which his opponent just scoot. Thunder Dragon Fusion was okay, but he felt it was really not the big power play that Imperial Order is. Format depending, and if he had access to them, he'd actually swap hand traps. If this list nerfs Sky Strikers, then he thinks he'd play Bell over Ash. The extra deck, as he says, he'd drop the Cerberus for Unicorn, possibly Gustav Max for a Borreload, even though Gustav Maxing for game is absolutely classic. The side deck, if he had the cards, would be completely different. He'd cut D-Barrier and Pancratops for evenly and Impermanence. He'd consider maining Impermanence actually, but he's just not willing to pay the price that they currently demand. Overall, he was really happy with the list though, and he guessed it worked out. As for shoutouts, first a massive shout out to Danny McGlashan, who spent hours beating him with Sky Strikers and telling him to play a good deck instead of this, also for hyping him up all day. Shout out to Danny Riley for lending him the cards that he needs, Matt Harris, John Cash, and the other guys at IQ Games for always making the game so fun to play. So thanks very much, Cam, for coming on with your list. Great to see the Dino Thunder variant showing what it can do at a regional and actually smashing through and taking first place, beating over those 2 FTK matchups and winning out. That is really solid as well. So good luck to you in the future, and hopefully we'll see you again. Thanks for watching this episode of Top Deck. If you have any comments or suggestions that you would like to make, leave them in the comment section down below. Check out the description for details of how you can get involved in this series. You can enter by voice interview, or instead you could just send all of your information over Facebook Messenger. Anything like that will be absolutely fine. If you want to see anything in particular from the upcoming series, then be sure to get in touch, and I'll see you guys in the next video.